Morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Let me just paste a link here. How did everyone do yesterday? Okay. Links have been posted. Okay, good morning, everyone. Let's get started. So yesterday, solid day, 2 for 2. Definitely better than, what I've been doing. What did I trade yesterday? Netflix took a swing, down 0.4%. So yesterday, right, Netflix worked fantastic, right? Took calls through this level here, right? On the higher time frame, what I mentioned, right, is the previous support, acted as resistance, right? And then we acted as a huge base here, right? And then we had these lower highs, right? So we were seeing this nice consolidation here, which always leads to a big move. Give us a victory song to play. Actually working on a feature, something like that. The prime drink helped. I will not be drinking that thing again. That's for sure. Morning, everyone. Right. So once it broke this level, we pretty much cleared every resistance. So we had a easy move up to this resistance above, right? Previous support, previous resistance, acted as a resistance, right? And that's where we started to consolidate, right? So it always makes sense. Now down 0.4% here in pre-market. So it just needs to hold these levels to see a move to the upside, right? But market looks pretty weak here. So need to see what happens. SPY. Right, so SPY had this double bottom, then we ended up gapping up and seeing that continuation. Right, we had this resistance here, and we saw a perfect break. Right, previous resistance acted as resistance, and it acted as a perfect resistance here. Oh wait, this was Friday. Excuse me. Monday was here. We actually just consolidated sideways pretty much all day. But we have this flag here now, right? We have this lower highs, higher lows. We had this little fake out intraday, but now we're down 0.36% here. So we kind of need to hold these levels. We're kind of in a weird spot. If we don't hold this support here at 411.28, we might see a move back down to this gap below around 408.64. Right, we have a gap now to fill to the downside, so need to be careful of that. Okay. Use. delete this and redo it. All right, so we had a nice setup here. We saw this nice consolidation. We broke out. And now we kind of created this little rising wedge. I didn't even notice. Now that I cleared my chart, which is why I like to clear my chart, right? This little rising wedge right into this resistance. Anytime we see this is typically a pretty bearish sign. So if we see a move below the low here at 321.32, which is also this previous resistance, right? Always lines up. Might see a move back down. Chart looks solid. Chart looks very, very solid. VIX just barely moving yesterday. Right, holding these lows. Kind of had this little fake out, but now we're back in this range. If we go here, kind of looks like a little inverse head and shoulders. Right, neckline, not really a left shoulder, but here's the head, here's the right shoulder. I mean, if this can break, if this resistance can break 17.88, we might see a move up, which means SPY down. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'll set an alert right around here. Whoops. Right in that zone. And now we are good. I just got an alert. Novavax is up 25% in pre-market. Wow, Novavax is at $7, guys. I mean, that is ridiculous. Considering during the pandemic, we were at $300. I mean, that is absurd. It's down almost 98% from the highs. I mean, that is insane. That is crazy. So they laid off 25% of their employees, but so they're up 20. What are they up here? 27% here in pre-market, but definitely not going to be touching this. But that is nuts. And it's not like a small cap either. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. All right, so Netflix, we have our game plan. Tesla, let's take a look at. All right, so Tesla looked very, very solid yesterday. All right, we had this resistance that broke out perfectly out of this wedge. Right, then Friday, we saw that move up over to this resistance here at 169.7, and then we pretty much just consolidated all day. Right, but now we're opening down 1.2%. We had these higher lows, we had these lower highs. All right, but market's pretty weak here. So need to see how it reacts at this 169.7 level, which is this previous resistance, was a previous support. Redo this chart here. Apple. Right, so Apple has this resistance around 170.76. Right, we were creating these lower highs all day. if this support breaks, then we'll see a move back down to 170.76. So 172.11. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Amazon's still in this wedge. All right, so we have resistance, 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 these higher lows right into the 0.5 fib, right from the high to the low. So this looks like it could potentially see a breakdown, right? It's also stronger than any other name here in pre-market, right? It's only down 0.3% as opposed to, much other names are down 0.5 plus. This actually looks pretty solid though to the downside if this level rejects. Right? Need to be careful of this 106 level. Right? If 106 breaks, then we could see a push up. Right? But if it rejects, we have a nice risk to reward to the downside. Google is just still in this range. Right? This previous resistance, resistance, resistance. But we actually saw a nice breakout of this wedge that I mentioned yesterday. All right, we had these higher lows, lower highs, and we just saw a nice push out to the upside. But again, back in this range that we've been, trading since middle of March. Rivian, nice move up. Not going to be trading this though. AMD saw a fantastic move yesterday, up 5.8%. Right, so a nice break of this downtrend. Right, but this zone here from earnings kind of, ruined the setup. So a little difficult, but nice move up yesterday. Now it's only down 0.16% here in pre-market. So we can set an alert at the high here of 95.66 and keep an eye on that and watch for continuation since it's pretty strong. NVIDIA, nothing. Coin actually looks pretty interesting, right? So we had this downtrend, we broke to the upside, and now we have this kind of triple top zone, right? So if we can break over 58.8, it looks pretty decent. Rivian has earnings today, right? Thank you for the reminder, LJ. So Rivian has earnings today. I still have these puts that I've sold, 12.5 puts, so it should be fine. AMD went from 0.08 to 88. Wow, that's crazy. It's fine. Green's green. Coin actually looks pretty decent. Right, we kind of have this triple top zone, and we kind of are starting to form these higher lows. Right, so if this level can break, I think we see a nice push. If it doesn't, then we're probably just going to be chopping within this zone here. But it looks pretty decent. Meta. Nothing really there. Let's delete the chart, get a fresh look. Right, I always like to do that. Actually we could do this. Right, so we kind of have the higher low and this triple rejection, right? Resistance, resistance, resistance. So we could use this level here, 235.62 as an entry point. Right, it also lines up perfectly with this previous support. Right, so this previous support acted as a resistance, right? So now you could set an alert right below it. If this breaks, we're going to see a breakout of that level. If everyone could drop a like in the video, that'd be great. If anyone wants a one-on-one session, I have a 20% discount right now, and I've never ran a discount on my Twitter. All right, it's a 3-session pack, one-on-one. We'll sit down, we'll create a plan, we'll figure out what's going on, and we'll get you start to make money. On my Twitter, it's my pinned post. Code is summer. How do I get hold of Bull Trade's customer service? You just have to ask us in the Discord. Or create a ticket. We answer 24/7, so just make sure you go to, for whoever just mentioned that, go to where is it? You just have to create a ticket. Yeah, or just go to inquiries, right? There's a bunch of ways you could do it, or FAQs, right? All right, you can go right here, FAQ, how to cancel. Or message Bull Trades on Twitter. And we'll get it all sorted out. It's 20% off. $120 off, so you're pretty much getting a free session. Meta does look pretty good. No problem. Tesla I covered already, but we have this previous resistance at 169.7, right? Sitting right there in pre-market, have these higher lows, lower highs, needs to hold this level, otherwise we might see a move back down to 165. Boeing. Let's take a look. Boeing is just very, very choppy. Right, we have this resistance. Then we have this support that acted as a resistance, right? Previous support acted as resistance, opening above it here in pre-market. Curious to see how it reacts to this white trend line here. That's what you need to watch here. BABA down 3% here pre-market. Again, right? It just can't seem to find a rhythm. Right? Don't try and fight this trend. Although it does look like it could potentially start to form a base if this bottom holds. Right? We're actually starting to move sideways now as opposed to just straight down every day, right? Right, so if this can start to form this base, right, sort of a rounded bottom at this previous support, right? But we're at this level here again in pre-market. CVS. Let's take a look. CVS has been doing pretty well. All right, we have this resistance rejected once, twice, 3 times. Now we're starting to consolidate right below it. I mean, if this could break out, we could definitely see a nice move up to this level here, 71.48. So I'll keep an eye on it. This is a solid stock to swing trade as opposed to just day trade. I potentially forming like this flag into it. Take a look at PLTR. So it's up 19% here in pre-market. It had earnings. And it's sitting right at this previous resistance at 9.21. Back and break, we could potentially see some continuation, but I don't really like playing these gap and goes, these gap ups. So just let's see. Nothing really I like it open. Maybe, yeah, like Q puts, I would consider if we were opening up here, but we're down here right now. We have this previous support, right? So if we entered here, the risk to reward isn't that good, right? But if we were up around 323, then it would be solid. And that's what I would look at. SPY, we could potentially look at SPY puts, right? But it might just chop in this range. So again, it might just be a no play day, right? Cash is a position you don't need to trade every single day. Make sure you guys understand that. Google is up 0.9%. On AI news, what else is new? Whenever I scale out, do I immediately go and place runners at break even? No. It depends on the setup, right? If I believe there's going to be continuation and there's still a solid risk to reward on the runners, then sure, I'll hold runners, or I'll even take a roll into a further expiration or a further strike. But if there's a bad risk to reward on them, then no, I'll just exit my position. VIX just looks like it wants to go to the upside. Right, we kind of have these lower highs after forming this base here. Right, if this breaks out over 17.88, right, SPY is definitely going to push down to this gap here. Right, so I'm saying it here. I said it first. Everyone on the stream knows. If VIX breaks out over this resistance at 17.88, SPY is most likely going to push down to this gap around 408 to 407. And CPI is tomorrow, right? Thank you, Rocky. Right, so CPI is tomorrow. So a lot of times it does tend to chop, right? So just be aware of that. Make sure you're not sizing too big. As always, you should never be sizing too big, but especially before CPI, right? Always make sure you know what's going on and don't just follow blindly. Okay. If anyone has any questions, you can drop a comment to me in Market Talk. Would be more than happy to answer it. Let's head over to the Discord.